Welcome to the second edition of Discover Downtown. We're going to spend a whole day in downtown Oceanside visiting the museums, some of the new restaurants, some of the businesses, some of the buildings that you've always wondered what's inside there. We're going to go take a look. So come with us. Now offer delicious coffee and breakfast at Petite Madeline Bakery on Coast Highway, where owner Christine Loyola, a former investment banker, now a certified culinary chef, has put new life into a historical building downtown.
Once I was very hungry for a beautiful French pastry and I had to go outside of Oceanside. And with my culinary background and with the baking skills, I figured this is a good spot. Our food is by the season, it's very fresh, so controlling the quality of the ingredients that go in the product makes a huge difference. Artisan style, we do a lot of traditional French techniques, but we do a California twist to it. So if you want to call it California Nouvelle Cuisine, that would be very appropriate. Now let's talk about the baking part. We also use very good ingredients for it. We use the freshest butter, the heaviest of cream that you can find in the market. You can see it in our product too. Every day we're open at 7 o'clock, and it varies what time we close, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, depending on if it's a weekend. We serve breakfast, lunch, we have espressos, desserts, pastries. Custom cakes are one of our specialties, and the reason we do custom cakes and you won't find any pre-made cakes in our case is because we make it fresh. Whatever you want it, however you want it decorated, whether you wanted a particular theme, you can tell us about it and we'll make it. We have pastry chefs in the back that can create any type of dream cake you would like. We're very well known for our wedding cakes.
Christine has kept wonderful elements of the 80-year-old building. The 50-foot rafters, the old bricks, and the leaded lights are all exposed, while her brother, artist Peter Loyola, has created a low water use plant wall. There's local art on the walls, but it's the welcome you get that really sets this place apart.
The eclectic look, I would say, it's very similar to our products. Very traditional, but with a twist. Petite Madeline has become a destination point, we've noticed. We are local and homegrown, very organic company.
One building has always intrigued us, the 100-year-old former store on the corner of Coast Highway and Mission. We dropped in to take a look and talk to John Hartman.
I think an amazing building, built in 1912, originally as the J.E. Jones hardware or implement store. For Oceanside residents, the people who have been here a long time, it's commonly referred to as the Huckabee department store. So for many years, decades, it was the place to be where you would go to buy your clothes, your children's supplies for school, whatever it may be. So if you look around some of the photos that we have here or in the Oceanside Historical Society, a lot of it would be referenced to the Huckabee years. Well, I think one of the neat features of the building is the tin ceilings. Original tin ceilings on both this floor and the upstairs floor. Those were salvaged for the most part. Also, there's some sidewalk lamps where if you're down in the basement of the building during the daylight, you actually get some natural sunlight down there. Another interesting feature of the building was during World War II, the upstairs was actually a dance hall called the Silver Slipper Ballroom. When we first moved in, occasionally people stop by and say that they remember being here back in 1943 or 1944 and coming in and dancing during those times. So kind of a neat little added feature of the building. We bought the building in 1989 and began a rehab. So we opened in 1990 and then we affiliated with Century 21 in 1993. So we've been a Century 21 franchise for 20 years this year. It was in pretty rough shape. The outside had to, of course, be stucco repaired and repainted. We had to check for seismic retrofitting. For those that have noticed in the newspapers, television lately, the real estate market has changed. The residential market is entirely different than it was even 6 months ago. There is a very low inventory of available homes. Now the general feeling for economists is that we are in an upward price market And once that news is digested by the general public, everybody gets on board. There's a lot of pent-up demand out there, and now we're getting multiple offers on properties that are coming on the market that are desirable. One case last week, we had 15 offers on one property. If you're in the market to buy a house, now's the time.
On towards the Pacific Ocean, we take a closer look at the Asylum shops. I hadn't quite realized what a sophisticated business skateboarding has become, not to mention the amazing clothes. Asylum is awash with cool shoes, skateboards, and all kinds of accessories. It's designated a core shop, so they have the extreme limited edition items not available in big box stores.
Asylum Board Shops has been here in Oceanside since 1990, so working on 22 years. Asylum Skate has been here on its own for about 10 years, and it's been the size that it is now for about the last 10 years. The skate industry is just getting better and better with bigger companies. Nike, you're seeing a lot more money put into skateboarding as a sport rather than thinking about it as just something kids do. We're seeing great brands come through, more exciting products, and a lot more enthusiasm towards skateboarding. Our focus on the skate shop is obviously to have the skateboard hard goods that the typical skater is looking for as far as trucks, boards, and they can make a full custom setup that works for them. But then you also have your people that are trying to get introduced to the sport, don't really know what they want, so we have full setups to get them started, whether they be a kid or an adult, all different sizes. And then there's a whole other world of skateboarding and the longboards, downhill riders, stuff like that. We try to provide products for all those people that are interested in all the assets of skateboarding.
I asked what information did I need to buy a skateboard for my niece.
Basically age is about the only thing, because it's a very personal thing picking out a skateboard for somebody. That's why we try to have the pre-set up boards to make it a little easier for their first introductory board, because anybody that wants a skateboard after they've been riding a while pretty much knows exactly what they want, and they want to come in and build it for themselves. A skateboard can now be personalized from any end of it. The grip tape can have paintings on them. The wheels are different colors and different graphics, sizes. Even the trucks now are different colors and sizes and graphics on the board. People put stickers all over their board. They do cutouts to make it personal. So yeah, no two boards really come out of here the same.
The surf shop is great for visitors too, as you can rent surfboards and wetsuits. We
do keep a lot of consignment boards there, so anybody looking to sell their board can come in. We'll do a little consignment deal with them. And then the next person looking to surf, a used board goes a long way for a lot of people when you're trying to get into surfing, because it could be a $600 to $900 board just to start out. When you could look at used boards, you can spend $150 and get out in the water and give it a try. And then we also have all the wetsuits and rubber and accessories that you're going to need to actually get out in the water, as well as a bunch of clothing for the surf industry, everything that's needed. We also do rentals for tourists and locals and anybody that wants to just try it for the first time. Keep it a pretty minimal price so that anybody can enjoy it for the day.
They also have one of the biggest sunglass stores in the county.
The sunglass shop, we probably are second or third in our selection, and being independently owned, that's something we're pretty proud of. It's just a family-owned business with a great selection and hopefully something for everybody. We're very proud of a lot of our accounts, one of them being Nike SB. They are one of the larger, more exciting shoes that gets released. They do limited releases in crazy colors and different styles, and it gets people really excited for that actual release date. Most of the time on those release dates, we're sold out completely. We'd like everybody to see our shops and just visit downtown Oceanside if you haven't been here in a while.
Now, some exercise. So we're renting one of the Dasani Blue bikes. Rental applications are in the Parks and Rec Department at City Hall. With a little instruction and some maps, and off we went, literally into the wild blue yonder. You need to bring, however, your own helmets.
Good morning. Welcome to the Recreation Office, Parks and Recreation. Thanks for coming to City Hall East to pick this up. Today we have a waiver that you complete for the Oceanside Beach Cruiser program. Just takes a moment to fill out. Please put your cell phone number on here, and we take Visa or check. The price is only $5 and includes an all-day rental, and you can do it Monday through Friday. A lot of our tourists in town take advantage of it and have been cruising around Oceanside Harbor and on our bike path and have just had a great time. The Dasani Blue Bike program started about 6 years ago in Oceanside. 20 beautiful beach cruisers were donated. Dasani is Coca-Cola product, and they were trying to promote fitness in our community. 10 cities applied to do it from across the United States, and Oceanside was the only one in California to get the program. $5 actually covers an all-day rental from like 9 till about 4:30, and oftentimes we have tourists, visitors, residents come and bring guests from out of town, and they'll rent the bikes and come on down along our beautiful beach here over to the harbor. And we now have a fabulous bike path that goes for 9 miles. For children, helmets are required, but adults it is optional while recommended. A lot of our guests and residents come by, check out the blue bikes, go get something to eat at one of our many great restaurants in downtown Oceanside. A lot of shopping downtown, and they really enjoy it. It's a great way to see our area. And don't forget, parks make life better.
A day downtown is not complete without a visit to one of our fabulous museums. The Oceanside Museum of Art is incredible. We spoke with Daniel Foster, the new executive director of OMA.
Technically, in 1995 is when this museum started formally and opened up programs to the public in '97. So we only have a 15-year history, and during that time, the museum and the board and the community stepped up and said, we're not only going to take this building of the original City Hall that Irving Gill, one of the great architects in San Diego that did many buildings during his career, we're going to take that starting point of a 5,000 square foot building, and we're going to do a major expansion and renovation of that building with Frederick Fisher, one of the most noted national, international architects based in Los Angeles, and raise $6+ million in this community, really on its bootstraps, saying we care and we have a vision, and now we have a 26,000 square foot top-notch, modern, contemporary museum architectural gem of a building that's worth the visit alone for the architecture. But inside our building is obviously 25 fabulous exhibitions a year of great diversity, serving our Oceanside, North County, San Diego, and Southern California audiences. I think what is exciting about a regional art museum is the eclectic mix of programming of high quality that attracts different audiences together. And if we're really intentional about it, those audiences can come together at the same time and start to rub elbows with each other and learn from each other and expose people to new ideas, new approaches of what's beautiful, what are the important ideas in our lives, and to learn from each other as an educational institution. We touch every 5th grader in the Oceanside Unified School District with hands-on art making and a direct museum visit and experience, which we have found about 40% of youth in that program have never been in a museum before. I think we are building lifelong committed art patrons from that program alone. The museum really juggles the kind of exhibitions and programs we do between serving the local community of Oceanside and our immediate neighboring communities as a primary audience, and really focusing on the talent that these communities have produced, of which there's great history. Right behind me is one of Oceanside's greatest artists that recently passed away, unfortunately, and this is kind of a retrospective in honor of that great talent of Jen Trout in this instance. But then we also serve North County. There are many communities in Southern California that arts and culture and entertainment became the principal revitalizer, catalyst that drove the new economy of those communities, like Pasadena, Santa Ana, Culver City. Look at what happened in Gaslamp, San Diego, that is now this mecca economic driver. Art is going to be the catalyst catalytic driver of economic development for downtown Oceanside and for the communities around North County, San Diego.
While you're wandering around downtown, take a closer look at the post office on Seagaze. The First Street Post Office was a Works Project Administration, or WPA project, and opened in January 1936. There are 2 other WPA works there, the eagle-carved grill over the door by artist Stuart Holmes, and an amazing painting inside called the Airmail by Elise Cavanagh Seeds of a DC-3 flying over the mission. Inside, the post office retains its charming look, but still functions perfectly as the busy post office that it is. And while you're ambling around downtown, be sure and take note of the large murals on some of the buildings, as they're worth a much closer look. While walking around, we came across a number of people munching quite happily on fresh fish tacos. A new restaurant is coming to town. They were offering free tacos for donations to the Semper Fi Fund and had plenty of participants. And everyone supported the Semper Fi Fund, which helps injured and ill members of the U.S. Armed Forces.
We started in 2004 by a handful of Marine wives, and actually right here on Camp Pendleton. And now we have borrowed office space on Camp Pendleton. We are very proud of the fact that 94 cents of every dollar that you put in that jar today will go right back to helping our service members.
Hello Betty Fish House will be opening in February 2014 in the new hotel being built downtown, the Marriott Spring Hill Suites.
Hello, Betty!
We had to go to take a closer look at the new location of Triple L Reptiles and find out what's to love about creepy crawlies. To my total surprise, this warm and welcoming store seems to be tailor-made for Triple L Reptiles and was full of strange and wonderful creatures. Who knew?
The reptiles have really been owned probably in the last 30 years if they become more of a pet, where if you look at tropical fish, that's 100 years. So we have a lot of catching up to do in terms of how do we care for these animals properly. And as we learn more about their own native environments, it allows us to keep animals that at one point we didn't even know what they ate, and today we're breeding them successfully right here in Oceanside. What it really started to create the fascination for me in lizards is where they come from, the interesting places that they're found in these little unique pockets throughout the world. When Reptile started, it was the scary animal that was in the back of the house. In the last 10 to 15 years, that lizard has now made its way to the living room. So we've actually seen a huge shift of what you would think would be a reptile owner, and what it's really become more recently is also responsibility teaching animal, where at one time people would buy a rabbit or a hamster for a kid. Today they're looking at reptiles because, you know, as you can see with just these environments here, they're beautiful. You can mimic nature. You can have lots of different species. They can interact, and there's a lot of other pluses, such as reptiles don't have odor. They're hypoallergenic. So reptiles have really just become more of a responsibility tool. We do provide a lot of books. We actually have an extensive website that's full of care sheets that are free to print off, covering all types of reptiles, so you can get a little insight on what to do or how to care for an animal. My staff here are really eager to get things out of their enclosures and get people to hold them, and that right there is, you either love it or you don't. Let's see if we can let him take us out today. And you wouldn't think they're the fastest lizard in the world by what I was just able to do, but they are. You can see.
Wow, yeah.
And we'll get him to just kind of kick it here
Look
for us.
at his back feet too, though. He's got long,
Huge long toes. And these are, to watch these run across water is amazing. And when I mean run across water, I don't mean like a 2-foot puddle. We encourage groups to come through. We work with all the local Boy Scout groups for merit badge orientation classes. We have scavenger hunts with church groups that come through. We do a ton of outreach to all types of local schools. So we are really, really big on getting people to understand reptiles, break down that fear of what they think of a reptile, but more importantly, just get that animal in somebody's hands and just, you know, let them experience what we have in that fascination of just being able to actually hold one. So yes, I encourage people to come in at any time.
And to end a perfect day in downtown Oceanside, a visit to the new Stone Company store. Sitting outside to enjoy the setting sun and savor a cool beverage from the well-known and popular Stone Brewery. There's another wall of plants like the one in the bakery.
Stone Brewing Company has been around since 1996 here in North County, San Diego. We are headquartered in Escondido, but we recently opened a Stone Company store location here in Oceanside, which we're here today. We just want to make really amazing craft beers, and we do that by using the high quality ingredients and just making something that we like and our fans are going to really like. Our menus of beers change weekly. I invite everybody to go to stonebrewing.com for the latest of what we're offering. But we always have our core beers on tap, and then we'll rotate out seasonal special release beers that we have offerings. At our Stone Company stores, people are able to come and actually enjoy a pint here at the patio. We have 4-ounce, 8-ounce, and 16-ounce pours. You can also get your growler fill. So a growler is actually just a jug, and you're able to get a jug of fresh beer and take it home. We also have keg sales as well as merchandise and other Stone Company store memorabilia, things that people can shop for and take home. We are family friendly, so you're welcome to bring your children as well as even your four-legged friends. So dogs are welcome. On Thursday nights with the Oceanside Market, we always have a lot of exciting things going on here.
Next, we're planning to take a closer look at more of the great attractions, businesses, and restaurants downtown, and highlight a few of the new ones that are just now opening. Join us for our next visit to Discover Downtown.